It's a beautiful day and a beautiful day for some more Reddit stories, and I hope you guys are having a good day today. We're gonna have a lot of fun today, everybody, and I'm excited for this, and I hope you guys are too. Let's get into it. Am I the a-hole for leaving my family without a turkey after my mum criticized my fiance and said that she wouldn't be a good wife and mother? Drama. Oh my. I'm 29 male, and a few weeks ago I got engaged to my fiance Julia. I love her very much, and I'm 100% sure she's the one that I want to marry. I've always been close to my mum, but sadly Julia has never been her cup of tea. Julia's very career oriented and can't cook or decorate to save her life. My mum, on the other hand, prides herself on being a great cook and having the perfect house. In the past, she's expressed concern that Julia and I are too different and she won't be a dedicated wife and mother. I've always thought these criticisms were unfair, and I continue to pursue the relationship. We went to the family's house for Thanksgiving this year, and usually my mum prepares everything herself. Strangely though, when Julia called and asked if we could bring anything, she asked if Julia could do the turkey. As I mentioned, Julia has very little cooking experience, and I told my mum that she was worried about ruining the meal. My mum told her that she should just try and that she'd have to learn to cook at some point. Julia was stressed about making the turkey and also has been extraordinarily busy with work. Instead of cooking, we decided to pick up a turkey from Whole Foods. Julia was excited that she could contribute, but also didn't have the stress of ruining the meal. When we got to the house, my mum asked how Julia prepared the turkey. Julia said sheepishly that she'd purchased it from Whole Foods. My mum was furious. She said that she trusted Julia to make the turkey and said that she prides herself on serving a home-cooked meal for her guests. Julia then apologized and said that she just wanted to make sure the family had something enjoyable and that the turkey we bought would be better than anything that she tried cooking. My mum spent the next hour whispering to her sisters. I pulled her to the side and I asked if everything was okay. My mum said that she asked Julia to make the turkey and she couldn't even be bothered to try. She said that this showed a lack of respect and also an unwillingness to grow up. My mum proceeded to tell me that she doesn't think Julia is the one for me and she's worried about her ability to take care of herself and our children. I was fuming. I told my mum that Julie is amazing and her lack of cooking skills is not an issue for me in the slightest. I said that if my mum couldn't respect my fiance, I didn't want to spend the holiday with them. My mum said that my fiance is the one who doesn't know how to respect others, and I'm delusional if I can't see that. I ended up taking the turkey and telling Julia that we're leaving. We drove across the town and enjoyed a wonderful night with her family. Julia and I are both devastated, but I've assured her that this is my mum's issue and not hers. About half an hour ago, I got a call from my sister. She said that we ruined Thanksgiving by leaving and also taking the turkey. I said I didn't realize they'd want the turkey since my mum was so critical. My sister insisted that it was a misunderstanding and that cooking means a lot to our mum because it's how she expresses love. She interpreted the lack of effort as Julia not making an effort to bond and assimilate with the family. My sister's asking me to apologize, but I feel that we're the ones who are owed an apology. I'll also note that my mum has never once asked me to make the turkey, and it does seem like a double standard that she suddenly expects Julia to do it. It also seems like she's trying to turn my wife into something that she's not. So am I the a-hole? OP, your mum set a trap for Julia. That's 100% what she did. She was like, oh, okay, she's not much of a cook. I'll ask her to cook the turkey. And then when she doesn't do a good job, I can complain about it. Like, imagine for a second that Julia actually did cook the turkey. OP's mum would have complained about it the whole time. They would have been like, oh, you know, it's dry. This is what's wrong with it. There are issues here. You could have done this better. You could have done that better. You're going to be a terrible wife and a terrible mother because you can't cook. Like, there was a plan here on your mother's side, OP. And also, like this comment says, I love the fact that you took the turkey and then they complained. That's hilarious. Your family has very obvious double standards. Well done for calling them out on it. And do not apologize. Neither of you did anything wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like your mum's sneaky, OP, and I feel like she had a plan here. Like you said, she didn't ask you to make the turkey, did she? No. Yeah, the top comment says, not the a-hole. It sounds like your mum is really on a power trip and can't stand the fact that your fiance has replaced her in your life. Yeah, like she obviously doesn't like OP's wife because OP's wife doesn't value the same stuff that she does. And yeah, OP's mum is taking it out on Julia. That really sucks. This comment says, it sounds as if your mother doesn't care at all what you want in a wife. She's imposing her own feelings onto your relationship and needs to stop. You need to make and enforce boundaries and you're off to a good start. And OP said, I agree. She wants me with somebody who'll cook and be more traditional, but that's not important to me. Yeah, it's your mum's issue, OP. She's like, oh, well, this isn't the partner that I wanted you to have. So what do you mean you're not going to get rid of them? Like, it's completely up to me who you marry, isn't it? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. That's toxic as. And I get the feeling that if your mum doesn't change, you're probably not going to be spending a lot of time around her. Story number 2 is called Am I the a-hole for cancelling our wedding after my fiance said something disgusting about my little brother? Hi Reddit, I'm in a tough spot at the moment. My fiance, let's call her Karen, 32 female, and me, 31 male. We're about to get married in a bit more than 6 months. months. Everything started to go bad when we started talking about the guest list. Karen had been saying for a while that she didn't want my little brother, let's go with Chad 26 male, for a while, but she wouldn't give me a real explanation. I've told her many times that my brother's presence was absolutely non-negotiable though. For some background, Chad and me have always been super close. Our parents weren't abusive or anything, but they weren't really the serious kind of parents. They would often drop us at grandma's to go party, and as soon as I was old enough to take care of us both, they'd leave the house for my brother and me to handle. This is a trash way to treat your kid, sure, but at least it allowed us to bond super close. I'm not exaggerating when I say that he's my favorite person in the whole world. I'd take a bullet for him, and I think the only people who could brag about being as loved as I love him are my future kids. So yeah, my baby brother's presence at my wedding is not something that I'm willing to sacrifice at all. Now, a few days ago, the topic of the guest came back on the table, and Karen said one more time that she doesn't want Chad there. I was really getting pissed at that point, and I told her there wouldn't be a wedding at all if he wasn't there, so she better either drop it or leave. Then I asked her why the hell she doesn't want him there in the first place. So that tells me that she doesn't want a F word on her wedding day, and that her family doesn't approve of his lifestyle. OP, dump her today. Oh my god. I was like, did she really just say that? I knew that she wasn't exactly the progressive type, but it never got that far. Like, my brother is the sweetest, kindest, purest soul on earth. I couldn't believe that she'd hate him so much for something so trivial. And yeah, Chad is bi. He came out to me when he was 20 and he looked so damn scared. I told him that I loved him no matter what, of course, and I promised myself that I wouldn't let anybody else make him feel that scared or hurt ever again. And I couldn't even imagine that woman in the same room as him after what she just said. I don't know, protective big brother instincts kicked in, and I told her that we're done. I asked her back the ring that she reluctantly gave back before telling her that she had 10 minutes to pack her stuff and get the out of my house before I called the cops. Oh my god, congratulations, OP. Good on you for doing that, OP. Obviously, I cancelled everything and I told everybody who would ask me the exact reason why Karen and I are done. Sweet, Chad obviously heard of it and saw the proportion this drama was gaining. He even told me that it's not a big deal if he's not there. He just wants me to be happy. Yeah, not with Karen though. Karen can take a hike. I told him that my big day is meant to be the happiest in my life, and it wouldn't be without him. And I certainly can't be happy with somebody like Karen, given who she really is. Well, now she's back to her parents' house, and some of our mutual friends have really distanced themselves from her. I've got a lot of texts from her family, all more hateful than the previous one, and I ended up blocking them all. Karen, on the other hand, hasn't really been aggressive or anything, just alternating between guilt tripping and cries, yeah, of course, saying how I ruined her life, news spread like wildfire apparently, and that she can't believe that I ruined our 4 years of relationship over a word. It's not just a word, Karen, it's the fact that you're awful, Karen. But not once has she apologized for what she said about Chad. So now I know even more that I don't want anything to do with her anymore. So yeah, maybe I'm the a-hole, but I don't think so. And I think she deserves every part of the backlash that she's getting. Yeah, 100%. She has to face the consequences of her hatred. And it's great that her true self has been revealed to the world, in my opinion. Who even says that in Seattle anyway, lol? Yeah, I was not expecting that when we read this. That is so unbelievably gross, but you handled this so well, OP. Yeah, like this comment says, 3 strikes, right? Rejecting your brother, homophobic bigotry, no apology, only guilt tripping. Yeah, the guilt tripping part makes so much sense. Like, of course you're a guilt tripper, aren't you? And never even saying sorry. She sucks. And the fact that she said, I can't believe you're throwing away 4 years over a word. Like, it's not the word that did it. It's the fact that that's what you believe, Karen. It's the fact that you're awful. And of course, it's not just about your brother either, OP. Like, what a homophobic piece of crap. Yeah, like this comment says, you dodged a bullet big time. It's not about your brother at all. She revealed herself to be hateful and judgmental. This is not who you want guiding the morals of your future children. You just saved yourself a fortune. Bravo, not the a-hole. Like, oh, okay, yeah, bye. Never want to see you ever again. The next one that we're going to read is called, Am I the a-hole for ruining Thanksgiving after my mother-in-law told everybody about my miscarriages? Oh, okay. 32 female. I spent Thanksgiving with my in-laws and it was one of the most upsetting days of my life. My husband and I have been trying for a baby for around 3 years. Last year I got pregnant and I miscarried twice. It was devastating and my greatest fear is that I'll never be able to have a child with my husband. In October, I found out that I was pregnant for the 3rd time. We were thrilled but also cautious because of my history with miscarriages. Originally, the plan was to keep it between us until I made it to the 2nd trimester. Unfortunately, I've got a well-intentioned yet nosy mother-in-law. We were at dinner one night with my in-laws and my mother-in-law noticed that I wasn't drinking. My mother-in-law asked me if I was pregnant and I'm horrible at hiding my emotions, so my reaction to her question gave it away. I admitted that I was pregnant, but I explained that we're very cautious and I want to keep it private until I make it to the 2nd trimester. My father-in-law and mother-in-law said they understood and they agreed to keep it between us. Sadly, I miscarried about a week ago and I was crushed. It's been been terrible, but I'm trying to stay busy to keep my mind off it. Initially, I wanted to skip Thanksgiving, but I wanted my husband to see his family, and I thought it might lift my spirits a little bit to be surrounded by loved ones. Oh, this one is so sad. I wanted to tell my mother-in-law about the miscarriage in person, since it felt strange talking to her about that over the phone, but she wasn't free to see me this week. My plan was to talk to her the day after Thanksgiving when we could have a moment alone. Almost immediately after we arrived at my in-laws' house, my mother-in-law's sister hugged me and congratulated me on the pregnancy. I was shocked since my mother-in-law agreed not to tell anybody. I considered saying thank you to not draw attention to myself and put a damper on the night, but I couldn't hide my emotions and I told her that I miscarried. She hugged me and then apologized for my loss. A few minutes later, my sister-in-law came over to us and congratulated me. I started tearing up as I explained for the second time that I miscarried. They were both kind, but I was very emotional and frustrated since my in-laws agreed to keep it private, and this was the exact situation that I was seeking to avoid. Oh, that's so awful. A few minutes after, I spoke to my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law pulled me to the side and asked me why I didn't tell her about the miscarriage. She said that it hurt having to hear the news from her older sister instead of from me directly. I said that I wanted to tell her in person and I was planning on telling her in the morning when we had a moment to ourselves. I said that I wasn't expecting to be confronted about the pregnancy since she agreed to keep it private. My mother-in-law said that she'd only told her sister and her daughter, which was to be expected in the situation, since she was so excited. Oh, this one's so icky. I was so furious, but I didn't have the energy to argue about it. So I said we should talk about it later and enjoy the holiday. I left my mother-in-law and I went to socialize with the other relatives. When it was time to eat, my mother-in-law stood up to give the blessing. She started to talk, but then she got emotional and began to cry. She asked the family to keep me in their thoughts and prayers since I'd recently miscarried. She added that I've miscarried twice before and it's been an emotional experience for everybody. I'd only told my father-in-law and mother-in-law about the previous miscarriages, so she was once again broadcasting my personal medical information. My mother-in-law started talking directly to me and said that she knows that I'll get through this and that I'll make an amazing mum someday. I couldn't control my emotions and I started sobbing in front of the entire family. I was crying so hard that I was practically choking on my tears and I couldn't catch my breath. My husband was so furious and asked his mum why she thought that it was appropriate to tell people about my pregnancy and miscarriages. My mother-in-law responding by saying that she loves us so much and was so excited to be a grandma. With respect to the miscarriage, she said that we deserved the family love and support during this difficult time. My husband announced that we were leaving and we left before the turkey was even served. I cried myself to sleep and I woke up feeling horrible. This morning my mother-in-law showed up at my house unannounced. She said that she wanted to talk to us about what happened. My husband was still fuming and I told him to let me speak to his mum privately to avoid another fight. I was still upset about what happened, but I wanted to make peace and I was willing to accept her apology since the situation has been hard on everybody. My mother-in-law and I sat down together and instead of apologizing, she lectured me about how I should have told her about the miscarriages before sharing the news with our other relatives. My God, she said it was hard to hear the news from her sister when she was looking forward to a happy Thanksgiving. She was also upset that I dropped this horrible news at dinner and that I should have found a way to tell her before the holiday, even if it was over the phone. She said that if I was still so emotional over the miscarriage, I shouldn't have come to Thanksgiving and risked upsetting all the guests. She said that she knows that I'm going through a lot and forgives me, but she wanted to be honest about her feelings. I was so flawed. I told my mother-in-law that I've made some mistakes, but all of this could have been avoided if she'd followed through on her promise to keep the pregnancy private. I said that she owed both my husband and myself an apology. My mother-in-law asked if I'd also apologize for making a scene at Thanksgiving. I didn't think I owed her an apology under the circumstances, and I expressed that clearly. She left in tears and said that I was lashing out because of the traumatic pregnancies. My husband said that I shouldn't apologize and also cancelled our Christmas plans with his family. While I do think my mother-in-law behaved poorly, part of me wants to apologize to diffuse the situation. I also know that this has been challenging for my mother-in-law as well, and we don't always react perfectly in these situations. I also feel badly that I let my emotions get the better of me and put a damper on the evening. Am I the a-hole for how I handled the situation and for refusing to apologize when my mother-in-law visited our home? Oh God, no, you're not the a-hole, not even a little bit. I feel so bad for you, OP. This is awful. Yeah, this comment, holy crap, not the a-hole. Take the time that you need to heal. That is so awful. Like surprisingly awful. You were completely reasonable, OP. Everything you said is completely right. Yeah, like the second top comment says, not the a-hole. She broke your trust. She shared your medical situation with others without your consent. She announced the miscarriage in the middle of a holiday without your permission. She blamed you for her mistakes. She blamed you for your very valid reaction. She made herself a victim when she f***ed up over and over. And she gaslighted you. You deserve better. This isn't about your pregnancy. This isn't about your hormones. This isn't your fault. The only person that's responsible for your mother-in-law's actions is your mother-in-law. She chose her actions, and she chose to keep on blaming you too. She chose to disclose your privacy in front of everybody, and she chose to keep choosing to disrespect you. Opus said thank you so much for your thoughtful response and reassurances. I needed to hear this. Yes, such a good comment. And also this one. Not the a-hole. Of course you're not the a-hole. Your mother-in-law broke your trust. She made a speech about your private health information at dinner. And then she got mad at you for a perfectly reasonable and expected reaction. Your mother-in-law thinks that your health is about her personal grandmother journey. It's not. It's about you, your husband, and any children that you may conceive. She needs to realize that she is not the main character here. That is such a good point. Yeah, she's making it about her grandmother journey. Like, so unbelievably self-centered. And then, yeah, she tells everybody and makes a scene herself and then blames OP. Yeah, this situation is awful. And I'm so sorry, OP. You're doing such a good job. And also, I do want to mention about the husband too. The husband is also doing a really good job. Like, could you imagine if this situation, if the husband was really not helping and the husband was also siding with his own mum? Like a lot of spineless sort of stuff that we read about. Like, that would make it so much worse. But no, the husband is also doing a really good job. Yeah, all the best in the future, OP. Okay, the next one that we're going to read. Am I the a-hole for refusing to move my daughter's room for my fiance's home office? I, 32 male, have been with my fiance, 30 female, for 5 years, and we're planning our wedding for next spring. I have a 10-year-old daughter, Lily, from a previous relationship. Lily's mother passed away when she was a baby, so it's just been the two of us for most of her life. My fiance Emma's always had a cordial relationship with Lily, but they've never been particularly close. Recently, Emma suggested that Lily should move into the smaller bedroom to make space for a home office, as Emma works from home. Lily's current room is the second largest in the house, and she loves it. I told Emma that I didn't want to uproot Lily from her room, especially since she's already been through a lot. Emma was upset and accused me of prioritizing Lily over her needs. She argued that as my future wife, her comfort should be equally important too. I suggested converting part of the living room into a workspace, but Emma insists that having a dedicated office is essential for her productivity. Now there's tension between us, and Emma feels that I'm not considering her needs in our shared home. I want to support Emma's work, but I also want to ensure Lily feels secure and valued. Wait a second though, there's already a room, isn't there? Emma suggested that Lily should move into the smaller bedroom to make space for a home office. So either OP's fiance gets the smaller room for the office or the bigger room for the office. Am I reading that right? Like, either way, she's going to have a home office, but it might not be the bigger room. Update. First, I want to thank everybody for the overwhelming response to my post. It's been incredible and humbling to see so many people weigh in on such a personal issue. I've read every comment, and while some were hard to hear, they have helped me reflect deeply on my choices, my relationship, and most importantly, my responsibility as a father. Since my last post, things have taken a dramatic turn. After our heated conversation, Emma's frustration bowled over, and she decided to stay with a friend for a few days to clear her head. She feels that I've completely failed to prioritize her needs, and to be honest, I am struggling with the intensity of her reaction. This isn't even about a room anymore. It's about values and respect and whether we're truly on the same page about what it means to build a life together. Lily, in her innocent way, asked me if Emma is mad at her for loving her room so much, and that question shattered me. I've always tried to shield her from adult conflicts, but I can't ignore the impact this is having on her. At this point, I'm questioning whether this relationship can recover. Can I marry somebody who sees my daughter as an obstacle rather than a part of our family? I don't know. I'm not sure what the next step is, but the wedding is officially on hold. I'd love to hear your thoughts again. This community did help me find my voice last time, and I need it now more than ever. Thank you. Yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure we all know what the comments are gonna say, and I can't say that the comments are wrong either. You're not the a-hole here, OP. Like the top comment says, not the a-hole. Your daughter would always be your first priority. A home office should be able to fit in the smallest room or some other space, but Lily does deserve to keep her own room. The comment below that says your daughter's comfort and stability should absolutely come first, especially given her circumstances. A home office can be created in a smaller space or even in the living room, but Lily does deserve to keep her room, OP, not the a-hole. Yeah, and like this comment says, not the a-hole. Your wife can take the smaller room for the office. She doesn't need the bigger one. This comment says your fiance is pissing on her territory and marking it as all hers, as well as making herself your priority instead of your daughter. A smart man would cancel everything and get her out of their house ASAP. She's never going to be a good step parent, not the a-hole. This one says, I think I agree. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. It's childish and transactional on your fiance's part. It feels icky. Yeah, it definitely does feel icky. Yeah, I get the feeling that you're not going to stay with them, OP. And hey, that's probably for the best. Okay, the next one says, am I the a-hole for ruining Thanksgiving after my boyfriend announced my pregnancy and his mum fainted? Oh God. Alright, so I, 20 female, went to my boyfriend Jake's 22 male family Thanksgiving dinner last week. We'd been dating for a year, and this was my first time meeting the whole squad, so I was already kind of nervous. Before we left, Jake joked about how his family was super traditional and said that I should be ready for some old-fashioned vibes. I just laughed it off. Dinner started and everything was fine until Jake suddenly goes, hey everybody, we've got big news. I'm sitting there like, what big news? Then he grins at me and says, tell him babe. I'm panicking, so I just sit there get confused and his mum's already emotional, asking if we're engaged or something. Then Jake drops, "She's pregnant." Yo, I'm not pregnant. I immediately start denying it, but Jake's cracking up saying that it's just a joke and telling me to play along. His family isn't laughing. His mum legit faints. His dad starts yelling and his grandma is praying under her breath. I'm mortified. I stand up and go, "Actually, the real joke is Jake thinking that I'd stay with somebody who'd pull this." And then I walked out. Yeah, this one's not real. That did not happen, OP. I'm sorry, there's no way. Jake's been blowing up my phone saying that I embarrassed him and I ruined Thanksgiving. His family is apparently mad at me for causing drama, but like I didn't announce a fake pregnancy and traumatize his mum. Am I the a-hole for walking out and leaving him to deal with the mess? Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but this sounds so made up. There are lots of people in the comments saying that too, and also apparently there was a post from OP like a couple of days ago where in it said the boyfriend had already dumped them or something. Yeah, once again, sorry if it is real, but I really don't think that is. Okay, moving on. The next one says, "Am I the a-hole for refusing to change my will after my brother asked for fairness for his kids? I, 36 male, am unmarried without any kids, but I'm very close to my niece, 10 female, and nephew, 8 male from my younger sister, Emma, 34 female. I've been in their lives since they were born, and I love them like they're my own. Over the years, I've set aside a significant portion of my savings for them in my will, including some property that I own as I want them to have a good start in life. My older brother, Dave, 38 male, recently found out about my will. He has 3 kids, 12 male, 9 female, and 7 male, but to be honest, we're not that close. He moved to another state years ago, and I only see his family once or twice a year. His kids are fine, but we don't have the same bond. When Dave learnt that I left most of my assets to Emma's kids, he got upset and accused me of favoring them unfairly. He argued that since he's got more kids, they need the money more, and that splitting my estate equally among all 5 kids would be the right thing to do. I told him no. I explained that my money is mine to allocate, and it's going to the kids I have an actual relationship with. He called me selfish and said that I was punishing his kids for circumstances beyond their control. Like what, your kids are entitled to your brother's money when they die? Come on. My parents are now involved and think I should keep the peace by leaving something for Dave's kids. But Emma's got my back and says that I'm doing nothing wrong. Am I the a-hole for sticking to my decision? Yeah, like this comment says, you're not even 40 and your brother's already picking over your bones. What a dear, and it cuts off. Yeah, how wild is that? The top comment says, no, you're not wrong to not change your will. It's your money to distribute as you want to. Why did this even come up in a conversation? Why did your brother even find out about this? It should have been private. OP said it came up during a casual family conversation about long-term plans, and my brother kept on pressing me about specifics. I didn't think it would cause an issue, so I was honest, and clearly I was wrong about how he'd react. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole, but have you been diagnosed with cancer or a terminal disease? I don't understand why this has become a family controversy when you're only 36 years old. You could live another 50 years or more. A lot could happen in those intervening years. Who knows, you might end up marrying and having children of your own. The whole conversation is ridiculous in my opinion. Yeah, that was definitely confusing too. I'm really hoping that you're not sick or something, OP. I couldn't find any comments from OP about it, but yeah, I thought that was confusing too because you're only 36. Yeah, I don't feel like it should have even come up in conversation. Like, yeah, you can give your money to whoever you want to, OP. You said, OP, he moved to another state years ago, and I only see his family once or twice a year. No, I don't think you're the a-hole, but it's a really weird situation. And it feels weird to even be thinking about this sort of stuff. Like thinking about the money that you're gonna get when your brother dies, when they're only 36. The next one that we're gonna read says, my sister stole my late wife's wedding ring and gave it to her daughter. Okay, so here's the deal. My 38 male wife, Emily, passed away 4 years ago from cancer. Oh, I'm so sorry, OP. It was the hardest thing I ever went through, and honestly, I'm still not over it. We were together for 15 years and she was my everything. When she passed, I kept her wedding ring and a little jewelry box on my dresser. It's a very sentimental item for me. Fast forward to now, my sister Claire, 41 female, has a 17-year-old daughter, Maddie. Maddie just got engaged. Yeah, 17. I told Claire that I thought it was crazy for Maddie to get married so young, but that's not the main issue. A few weeks ago, I noticed Emily's ring was gone. I freaked out and I searched everywhere thinking that I misplaced it, but deep down I knew that wasn't the case. I didn't want to accuse anybody without any proof, but I had a feeling. Then at Maddie's engagement party last weekend, guess what? She's wearing Emily's ring. I confronted Claire in private and asked her why Maddie had it. She tried to brush me off, saying that Maddie fell in love with it when she saw it once, and Claire thought that I'd want it to go to family since I wasn't using it anymore. Is this a joke? Are you kidding me? I lost it. I told her to get the ring back immediately or I was going to call the cops. Claire flipped out saying that I was being selfish and ruining Maddie's big moment. I don't care. That ring was my late wife's and it means everything to me. Now the whole family's involved. Some people are on my side. Oh my God. It does not matter what the family thinks. OP, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Some people are on my side saying Claire was way out of line, but others think I'm overreacting because it's just a ring and Maddie's a kid who didn't know any better. BS. Maddie's crying, Claire's calling me a monster, and my parents are begging me to just let it go for the sake of peace. But I can't. Yeah, what peace? But I can't. It's not about the ring being valuable, it's about what it represents. I told Claire I'm giving her 1 week to return the ring or I'm filing a police report. Now everybody's calling me dramatic and threatening to cut me off if I do go through with it. I feel like I'm going crazy. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? No, absolutely not. And there are no sides here. There's only one side here. You're in the right. There's no, oh, some family members agree and some don't agree. What do you mean they don't agree? They feel like this behavior's okay? Get the hell out of here. Yeah, this comment, just file a report for the stolen item. Yeah, do it immediately, OP. And also, to be fair, anybody who's saying that you're an a-hole here, OP, get rid of them. Oh, you poor thing, OP. I feel so sorry for you. I hope this one's rage bait. If it's not, I'm sorry, OP. I'm assuming it is real, but I feel like that could be the only way that it might be rage bait. Like how these people are saying that OP's in the wrong and calling OP dramatic. Like, oh, it's dramatic that OP wants their wife's wedding ring? No, actually it's not. Claire thought that I'd want it to go to family since I wasn't using it anymore. Since you're not using it anymore? What do you mean? What are you gonna use it for? Like, how are you gonna use it? And why would you use it? What, are you gonna wear it or something? And is that the logic they have too? Like, because you're not using it, that it's okay for them to just take it? That is so gross. Okay, I've got one more story for today. Am I the a-hole for leaving in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner because of pumpkin pie? My 32 female, mother 60 female hosts Thanksgiving dinner at her house every year. It's a small event with my parents, me, my brother's family, and my sister-in-law's family attending. We avoid family quarrels by implementing a strict no politics rule and trying our best to be civil. I should probably mention that we're not a particularly close-knit family. We rarely see each other beyond these events since my brother lives in South Africa and I travel a lot due to my work. Thanksgiving is important to my mum since it's one of the rare times that we're all together. Anyway, the main problem I have with my mother is her constant critique of me. She's got a habit of making passive-aggressive comments about my life choices, from my career to my lack of children to the way I dress. I've addressed it with her multiple times, but she doesn't really seem aware of it. My father claims it's just her way of fussing and expressing that she cares. It does hurt though, because my brother is never criticized in the same manner. I cannot entirely fault her for her criticism, since I did majorly mess up my life a few months ago, depression, and it has affected her opinion of me pretty negatively. It does not excuse the way I acted, but I just want to explain why I left. By the time we finished dinner, I was a bit prickly because of some of her commentary. I made a cake for dessert and I was explicitly put in charge of it, and nobody specified exactly what I should make, so I opted for a maple cheesecake. I did my best and I think it looked okay. Mum normally does make pumpkin pie, but I really hate pumpkins. They make me gag, so I thought perhaps we could try something new. As I was bringing out the cheesecake, my mum eyed it somewhat warily and announced that she had decided to make the usual pie as well. This caught me off guard. I asked her why she didn't tell me beforehand, and she said something like, well, we figured you'd do your own thing, so I thought it was best to have a backup. Yeah, that's not good phrasing. She went on to cut the pie and serve it to everybody, instructing me to leave the cheesecake in the kitchen. Wow. When somebody asked to try my dessert, she said, let's not mix too many flavors at once, which felt really passive-aggressive. Yeah, definitely OP. I know it's immature for an adult to get this upset over a triviality, but I just politely refused as she was handing me a slice of pie, retrieved my coat, and I left. People were calling after me, I think, but by that point I was crying for some reason, and it would have been too humiliating to have an emotional outburst in front of everybody for no real reason. Oh no, OP, there's a reason here. Your mum is nasty. My mum just texted me saying that it was incredibly rude and immature of me to leave like that, especially on Thanksgiving. My brother also sent me a message saying that I'm acting irrationally. I feel horrible for leaving so abruptly, especially because my parents are getting older and we're not really that close. Something about my mother seems to turn me into a neurotic teenager, and I hate it. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. Your mum is the worst. Like seriously, the worst. God forbid anybody eat and then compliment your cheesecake. You were not crying for some reason. You were crying for valid reasons. You were not behaving irrationally. You were reacting with perfect rationality given your circumstances. Maybe take off the rest of the holidays and give yourself some grace, or spend time with a friend or family member that doesn't treat you like an inconvenience. From one black sheep to another, you deserve way better. Yeah, there's a reason that you were upset, OP, and a valid reason. Yeah, and from what you've said here, OP, no wonder you're not close. And also a maple cheesecake, that sounds so good. But yeah, like that comment said, oh, God forbid somebody likes your cheesecake. Yeah, your mum is the worst. The top comment says, not the a-hole. If your mother's way of fussing and expressing that she cares looks, sounds, and feels like she's being a deliberately nasty person, then I'm guessing that she's really a deliberately nasty person. Walks like a duck and all that. I'll tell tell your father this. Your mother premeditated the whole dessert thing, right down to the kick in the teeth of excluding the dessert that you made from the table. She got off on being cruel in this petty way for whatever warped reason. This kind of thing is no accident, and it's not care in any way. Golden boy brother can't see it because he's never the target. Dad's trying to see it through the best possible lens. Your mother won't admit to herself what she's really doing, even as she deliberately does it. Their blindness doesn't mean that she isn't doing it. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, that's infuriating, and you're definitely not the a-hole OP, and I feel so sorry for you. Your mum absolutely sucks. And that's enough for today. Let's read something wholesome. Me explaining to my dog how much I love him and that I'd die for him. My dog. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, like, what are you saying to me? I love you too, buddy. Your dog's like, I've got no idea what you're saying, but I love you so much. Chia just stared at me when I said that, and she does the same. Like, hey, Papa, I've got no idea what you're talking about, but I love you. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time today. If you did, please subscribe if you're not already. And make sure you let me know down below in the comments what you thought. And the comment of the day goes to Alex Lambert. That tower can barely handle the greatness that is Chia. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? She's too powerful and too great and too amazing. Now that I fixed the post, I'm really hoping they don't break it really soon. But hey, they probably will. But yeah, that's right, Alex. The tower can barely handle the greatness that is Chia. Thank you for that comment, and thank you for the support. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!